Good morning, everybody. Obviously, I don't know what time of day it is for you guys when you're watching this, but this video is exciting for me because I'm going to be going over every single book that I have read this year. I'm just going to show you the books, tell you what I rated them, and how I generally feel about them. I'm not going to go about this in any, not in the real order that I read them, but I'm going to start with the book series that I read that are these books are part of a series, not just one book in the series, because if I just read one book in the series, then that's you don't know much about it. But if I read at least 2 books in the series or more, we're gonna go over this. So I'm gonna start with The Hunger Games and Catching Fire. I did a reread of these 2 books just because I wanted to see if my feelings on this series changed. I did enjoy it. Let me pull up my actual book journal so I can tell you guys. I did enjoy it. The Hunger Games was actually, it exceeded my expectations. I gave The Hunger Games a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It basically reads exactly like the movie, so I had no qualms with it. It was very, very good because the movie is very, very good. Catching Fire is a different story though. I gave this one a 3 out of 5 stars. It definitely was worse than I expected it because it was not like the movie at all. Really, the movie strayed from this a lot, but I liked the movie better. The movie did it better, which doesn't happen very often for me with books. I always feel like the book is better. Not in this case. I genuinely think the movie is better, so this one let me down a bit. These 2, I am so excited to talk about these 2. Oh my gosh. Legendborn and Bloodmarked. The only thing I'm sad about is that I had to get the hard copy of this and I have the paperback of this, but it was because I couldn't wait. This one basically had just come out and they only had the hardback, and I was like, I have to read it because I had read this one already and I was like, I have to read it. So yeah, I couldn't wait. I bought it and got it and read it immediately. So Legendborn is the first book in the series. I think there's supposed to be a 3rd book coming out soon as well, but this is the first book, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I stick to that as well. I read this back in March of this year, so it was very, very early on, and I loved it. This is, I think, the first book that I decided to tab and highlight on the inside. The story is just very, very intriguing, and honestly, the characters were just great. Moving on to Bloodmarked, though, this is the sequel, and it blew my mind. It was great. It's also a 4 out of 5 stars. It is perfectly on par with the first book. I have never read a sequel that has been so equally matched. Another magnificent series. Oh my gosh. So we have The Cruel Prince, The Wicked King, and The Queen of Nothing. Oh, these books. Oh, these books. Oh my gosh. I was so scared to go into this because I was told these books aren't good, that they're overhyped. And I was like, nothing could be further from the truth for me. I read these books one after the other because I could not get enough. I loved it. So The Cruel Prince is the first book in the series. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Genuinely, I loved it. I think it's because I went in with low expectations and it just blew my mind. I loved the series. The plot was great. The characters were great. I mean, the beautiful enemies to lovers. Then we go into The Wicked King, which I did not have my hands on this book when I wanted to read it. So I literally went to the library. I haven't been to the library in forever. I got the book from the library and started reading it in the library. This book is a 3.5 out of 5. It was very, very good. Great plot twist at the end. Then we get to The Queen of Nothing. This book was, I was pleasantly surprised. I don't think I've ever read a series that the 3rd book was better than the 2nd book, but this one was. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. It immediately hooks you in. Plot-wise, the beginning, so good. So this is the Shatter Me series. I read Shatter Me at the end of last year, so that one's not in here, but I read the 2nd through the 5th book as well through this year. So I still need to read the last book, but I read all these. So let's start with Unravel Me. I read this one literally New Year's Day. So the beginning of this year, New Year's Day. So I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. This remains one of my favorite books from this series so far. Then I read Fracture Me, which is the first novella in this book. It was a 3 out of 5 stars. It was okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay, okay? And then I read Ignite Me, which is the third book. I think I liked this one better than Unravel Me. This one, I gave a 4 out of 5 stars, so it's technically the same rating as Unravel Me, but I like this one better. Restore Me, this one, oh my god. This one was a chore to read. It was 2.5 out of 5 stars. It was so boring. It was just as boring as Shatter Me, except I think I liked Shatter Me a little bit more. The first novella in this book, 4 out of 5 stars. It was a Kenji POV. I love Kenji so much, so that pleasantly surprised. Very, very good novella. It helped me get back into the series after reading that boring ass book. This one was good. This one was a 4 out of 5 stars. This one is a shorter one, so like it was a relatively easy read. But the plot was very, very well done on this one. The plot was great. The second novella in this one was a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I know. It was another Kenji POV. I adore Kenji, and I just think this particular novella gave him so much more character depth and really let us see into his emotions a lot more, and I loved that. Get ready. The Throne of Glass series. I did start it this year, and I fell in love with it. So I started with Assassin's Blade. This book was a great entrance into the series. Read this one first. This one, I mean, it's just, it helps you get into, you know, the whole story very, very well. I give this one a 4 out of 5 stars. Throne of Glass is the technical first book of the series, but I say it's book 2 because Assassin's Blade, you know? But Throne of Glass, it is very, very good, on par with Assassin's Blade. I loved this book, 4 out of 5 stars. Crown of Midnight. So, I read this one pretty close after Throne of Glass. This is a 3 out of 5. Don't mind my copy. My dog got to it, so I need to replace it. 3 out of 5 stars. It was boring at times, but the plot twists were interesting, and the plot itself was good. Then I went into Heir of Fire. I did not enjoy this book as much. I still rated it a 3 out of 5. I'm almost inclined to make it lower than that, but it's okay. This one was also boring. A lot of people like Heir of Fire, so, you know. Queen of Shadows. This book is really, really good. This book is good. 4 out of 5 stars, very action-packed. All the characters had their time to shine. It felt like there was no, like, main character. It was, like, a bunch of main characters. Like, it was just a stacked cast, okay? Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. I got all 3 of my books, but it's technically only two books because these are both Fourth Wing. I read Fourth Wing in August of this year. It was a great birthday present. I'm obsessed. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. A bunch of people were trying to tell me that it's overhyped, and no, I love this book. This book was so, so good. I'm obsessed. Divergent vibes, but better, times 1,000, and with dragons. People had opinions about Iron Flame. I did as well, but not the same opinions that everyone else was having, okay? I liked this book. This book was good. It was a good sequel. It wasn't as good as the first book. We all know that, but it was good. Give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Non-physical books. The Dare by Harley LaRue. I give it a 2.5 out of 5 stars. And a 5 out of 5 spice. My God, this book was literally just smut. Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. Woo! This book was good. I read it very, very quickly. 4 out of 5 stars, 4 out of 5 spice. The spice was good. It also made me cry. The Never King, Nikki St. Crow, or something like that. 4 out of 5 stars. I genuinely liked this book. This was a very, very good book. It was, I pleasantly surprised. 5 out of 5 spice, and the smut was written well, okay? It was The Dark One. 3.5 out of 5 stars, slightly less good than the first one. 4.5 out of 5 spice. This book was about the character that I liked the most from the series, so I was very excited to read it. Vane. Then I read the Mindfuck series. The first book is The Risk. These are a bunch of novellas, so they're not as long as full novels, but I gave this one a 2 out of 5 stars. It gave like Criminal Minds kind of vibes to me. The second book is Sidetracked in the Mindfuck series. 2.5 out of 5 stars. I like this one slightly better. Mindfuck Scarlet Angel is the third one. 3 out of 5 stars. I like this one slightly better. 1 out of 5 Spice. I still didn't like the main male character, but he's not annoying anymore. It's mostly just because I find him boring, okay? And then the fourth book is All the Lies. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars, 2 out of 5 Spice. And then we went into Paint It All Red, which is the fifth one, dropped back down to a 2 out of 5 stars, 2.5 out of 5 Spice. Wasn't great. I did not enjoy this one. It's Gravity by Tal Bauer, 3 out of 5 stars, 4 out of 5 Spice. The spice was really, really good. I think I should have rated this one lower though. I think I should have probably rated this one like maybe a 2 out of 5 stars, but I digress. The first 100 pages were really, really good, and then it just dropped off after that. From Blood and Ash, but I gave this one a 3 out of 5 stars, 3.5 out of 5 Spice. I love a badass female lead. I mean, look at Throne of Glass. Like, this one has a very badass female lead that I can compare, I feel like, to the Throne of Glass. Manacled, I think is what it's called. Manacled. I think I gave this a 1.5 out of 5 stars. This is on Archive of Our Own. It's long. I read Six Scorched Roses, which is it's like a little novella that goes with The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. It was very emotionally charged and had relatable characters, and it was just very whimsical and beautiful and magical, and I loved it. The Yellow Wallpaper, 2 out of 5 stars is what I gave it. It's a novella. It's very, very short. It was old. It's a classic, but it was hard to read at times. I don't know. It was suspenseful and eerie though. Like, it definitely had my heart racing. The One Night, this book, I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. It was very easy to get into, had a good build up. It made me want to read more from these characters. Like, genuinely, I liked the characters a lot. And I think that's it of all of the online books. So now let's get on to my one-offs. Took a break. We have a lot more books to get to because I did read 50 this year. So I want to start at the beginning of this year. I finished reading a series. A very important series that everyone's going to know. This is A Court of Silver Flames. This is the 5th book in the series of the ACOTAR series, A Court of Thorns and Roses. I finished it early January this year. This book took me a while to read. I mean, it's huge. It's humongous. Sarah J. Maas writes big books. We know this. But I gave this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Almost a 4. Like, maybe I might give it like a 3.75 if I were to really think about it. It's a 5 out of 5 Spice. The spice in this book? This is not young adult, y'all. Not even a little bit. Like, I think the rest of her books could be considered young adult. Not this one. This one gave off Hunger Games vibes at times, and I genuinely just, I did like it. After, like, upon reflection, this one was, like, it was good. It was a good read. It just took me a while because it's hard to read a book when it looks like this. Like, this is kind of intimidating. The Cellar by Natasha Preston. This book was decent. It's not my favorite that she's ever written. I liked it. It didn't have the regular, like, plot twisty, like, bad ending feel that Natasha Preston usually likes to bring, so it surprised me. It was a 3 out of 5 stars. I think if you want to read Natasha Preston, then you should maybe read other books first. And we'll get into those because there are some good books that I read this year of hers that I think deserve a bit more praise, okay? The Haunting by Natasha Preston. This one was also a 3 out of 5 stars. I didn't tab and mark this one like I have pretty much every other book that I've shown you. Because I just didn't feel like it. I didn't feel like it. I feel like I'm allowed to not feel like it sometimes. I'm glad I didn't though. It's not like crazy, like who the killers turned out to be. I was pleasantly surprised. This book had that Natasha Preston feel to it. It was finally back to good old Natasha Preston. It's just that the plot wasn't the greatest I've ever read, so it kind of matched up with The Cellar in the end. And then we have my personal favorite of hers. For the longest time, my favorite was The Lost by hers, which I read a year or two back, so I can't include that in this. But this book, The Island by Natasha Preston, this is one of her newer ones. This book, I honestly love it. Like, it was so good. Like, the concept is great. It's a 4 out of 5 stars. I originally rated it a 3.75, and then I went back and, like, I won't say I reread it because I didn't count a reread in my book count, but I did go back and I pretty much reread it. Like, I went chapter by chapter and skimmed through every page. Let's move on from The Island, because The Island is very, very good, but, like, we don't have time. We don't have time to keep harping on it. Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. It's a good one. It's a 3 out of 5 stars, 4 out of 5 spice. There was good spice in this book. It was honestly a good read. I'm telling you, it's always these animated covers, and they get you because there's nothing animated. I mean, it is. But there's nothing like childlike about this book, okay? It is very adult. Let's talk about The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I wasn't a huge fan of this book. I would probably give this book a 2.75 out of 5. A lot more spice than I thought there would be. And honestly, that first kiss was very, very good. Very well done. Honestly, really liked it. But everything else, the plot, the dynamics between the two main characters, and like later on how their relationship develops, I wasn't liking it. Hooked by Emily McIntyre. This is the only book in her Never After series that I've read so far. I really enjoyed this book. It's a 4 out of 5 stars, 5 out of 5 spice. Pure filth is the main thing I wrote about this. It is pure filth. Like, it is bad, okay? Like, it's so inappropriate and just, like, very adult. Be careful when you're reading this, okay? Be careful. That's all I'm gonna say. It's like a Peter Pan, like, Captain Hook reimagining. Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was genuinely good. I think my cousin might have liked it more than I did, and I suggested she read it. But it was good. The romance was refreshing and different, and the plot was interesting and something I haven't necessarily read before, so it was good. It was good. I definitely had some theories about how this series is going to continue, but I'm not going to read it yet. I'm getting close to a point where I think I'm going to keep reading. I've been thinking about picking up the second book, so we're getting to a point. It's probably going to happen soon, but not quite yet. The Serpent and the Wings of Night. We kind of mentioned it before when we were talking about Six Scorched Roses. I read this one before Six Scorched Roses. Six Scorched Roses, you can kind of read that one whenever, but this one is technically the first book in the series. It's 3.5 out of 5 stars. This book left me unsatisfied. Like, I don't know what it was. Like, I can't really explain it. The final battle was super epic. I was trying to figure out if I liked this book because I had just read it, or if I actually genuinely liked it. And I think that's why I took it down, because I would have originally rated it like 4 stars. And I was like, no, I genuinely think this book, I mean, I read it very fast. For it being huge and the words being like, I mean, technically, like the line spacing being so small. Now we're going to get into a book that I genuinely didn't like. I've got a bit of a scratch here on the cover, so don't look at that. But this is Threads That Bind by Kika Hatzopoulou. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. 2 out of 5 stars. The romance was nice. It was sweet. But the plot was lacking. We're getting to my more recent stuff, and these are my more recent reads are the ones that I feel like I liked the most this year. So let's start with Caraval. Oh my god. This book was 3.5 out of 5 stars. I read this one in November. Definitely exceeded my expectations. Like, I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. I love this book. This book's great. Lightlark. Lightlark by Alex Astor. First of all, I want to address something, okay? This book, without its, like, sleeve, is beautiful. This book is beautiful. Look at this book. And, like, the inside, it's got, like, the red, I don't know. I'm obsessed with the way this book looks. Gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. It has great, diverse characters, and it is such a cool concept. The world building is great. I feel like a lot of people have heard a lot about this. This is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. Oh man, Oh man, I was not expecting to enjoy this book as much as I did. I had heard a lot of people talking about it, and I was scared to pick it up. This is another one where the book sleeve is hiding some beauty, okay? I genuinely like this cover. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. It is genuinely like one of the cutest, fluffiest romances I have ever read in my life. And the plot came out of nowhere for me, okay? I expected this to just be like a fluffy romance, didn't expect there to be much plot. The plot is great. And I'm so excited to pick up the second book when it comes out because, oh my god, this was so good, okay? Once Upon a Broken Heart. And before you guys kill me, yes, I read Caraval first, and yes, I didn't read the rest of the Caraval series. So I didn't know they were connected worlds, so I'm kind of annoyed with myself that I did that. But no matter. It's okay. We're gonna finish the Caraval series before I finish this series. It's okay. I've learned. But this book is so good. Oh my god. I can't. It's so good. 4.5 out of 5 stars. Amazing world building, amazing plot, amazing characters, amazing slow burn romance. Oh my god, it didn't even come to fruition in this book. I know it's going to come to fruition in the next books. I'm so excited to continue reading this series. I have to get through Caraval first, so that's going to be the first thing I pick up. It was very mysterious, twisty, magical. I definitely recommend it. If you like mythological type stuff that has like some myths and some legends to it, and then also just good slow burn romance, pick this up. It's very, very good. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!